Hey friends, it's Sarah, and today I'm back with my February TBR. I'm super excited to share my February TBR today, but here's what I found in January, which I'm actually filming this a couple of days before the end of January. So I'm giving myself a few more days to finish up the books that I had on my January TBR. I'm not gonna make it. There are some that I had put on my TBR that I'm just not going to get to. I'm not including them in this video, so I'm not spoiling you for that, for my wrap up, which I'm gonna film in a couple of days. But January was kind of a tough reading month for me. I was reading a few things that I felt like I should read, and some things that I really wanted to read, but they just weren't, like, we weren't jiving, you know what I mean? I wasn't loving them as much as I thought I was going to. So it ended up being a fairly slow month for me. I still did okay. I just didn't get to everything on my TBR like I thought I was going to. So I've decided to be a bit kinder to myself for the month of February. There are a couple of books on this list that I'm about to show you that basically I have to read, but I just want to kind of mood read a little bit and give myself a little bit of space to sort of read as I go or choose as I go. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and start off with the two books that I know for sure I'm gonna be reading. And the first one is actually my book club pick for this month. So I belong to a book club. It is all women, but not intentionally so. It's just that that's who seems to show up. It is based here in my town, and we meet in person at the end of every single month. So literally 2 days ago, we just had our book club discussion for Verity by Colleen Hoover. And this month being Black History Month and also Valentine's Day, we decided to choose a book by a person of color and also a little bit of a love story. So that is going to be From Scratch, and this is by Tembi Locke. This is, the book came first, and now there is a Netflix series, or I guess mini series, or whatever you want to call it. It's 8 episodes that's on Netflix. And so what I'm going to be doing, I'm so excited. I am going to be doing a watch/read along with this. One of the gals, she actually kind of heads our book club. She has done both. So she has read the book and she also has watched the Netflix series, and she recommended that we watch the series first and then we read the book afterwards. So I know what happens. It's about a woman who moves to Italy and she falls in love with an Italian man. He's a chef, and he is kind of ostracized from his family for falling in love with her. She's a Black woman, and so it is their love story. And so I do know what happens in the book, and I guess technically in the series, but she recommended watching it first and then reading. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I am very much hoping to vlog the experience because she said it's phenomenal, and I'm really excited to do that. It is 8 episodes, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, when am I gonna get 8 hours to myself where, like, you know, my family isn't around and I can have 8 hours of peace and quiet to just sit in front of the television and watch and vlog. So I don't know, that might be a month-long project. I have no idea, but that's what the plan is so far. The next book that I'm going to be reading is The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and this is by Kelly Barnhill. I'm really excited to read this one. This is I think it's a middle grade, actually. It's either a middle grade, yeah, actually this is from my library. And it does say MG on the spine, so I'm assuming that means middle grade. This is a middle grade, but I first became aware of this book a year or two ago, and I thought it sounded really fascinating. It's about a girl who is rescued by these, like, I don't know if they're considered witches, But she's fed moon milk instead of sun. I can't remember. Anyway, she is fed moon milk instead of sun milk or something like that, and so they say she's the girl who drank the moon. And then the townspeople, if you will, they come after the woman who rescued her, and so she then has to like save all of these people who have adopted her in this village. I'm reading it because, like I said, I became aware of it a couple of years ago. It sounded really interesting to me, and it is fulfilling the prompt for the 52 book club of a Newbery Medal award winner. And I actually see on the spine here, I am in Texas. I've mentioned that a couple times, but this was also a Texas Bluebonnet Award nominee for 2017 and 2018. So I'm reading it to fulfill the prompt for the 52 book club, but obviously Texas loved it, and it says it's New York Times bestseller, Newbery Award winner, so highly acclaimed book. I'm really, really excited to read this one. And it's kind of thick, I think, for a middle grade. Let's see how many pages we're talking here. Almost 400 pages. It's like 386 pages. So this is going to be a little bit of a chunky one, but again, really, really excited to read that. Okay, so here's the thing. There's basically two types of stories that I have been craving to read lately. And one of them is dark academia. I don't really know why. I just feel like, I guess because it's kind of like, it's cold and kind of gray and like moody outside. So it's really made me want to read dark academia. I have no idea. I have read in the past couple of years a few books that fall into the category of dark academia, but I also want to do like a one whole vlog that's reading like many of these popular dark academia books all in one. And so I thought no better place to start than where it all started, The Secret History. This is by Donna Tartt. I think it's the either 25th anniversary of the book this year, or maybe it's the 30th anniversary of the book. Let me see if there's like although I don't know if this was republished. This is, like I said, widely regarded as the start, copyright 1992. So yeah, 30 years this past year of basically the founding of the genre. And so I am really excited to read this. This was a Read with Jenna book club pick for the month of December. I had way too much going on in the month of December. I was trying to finish up a couple of different challenges, and I was traveling quite a bit, and just kind of like wrapping up work and Christmas and all that stuff. So I did not get to it in the month of December, but I did know that it was something that I have wanted to read for several months now. And so I will hopefully be kicking off my dark academia blog or vlog by reading The Secret History. Along that vein, as I said, I do want to kind of mood read a little bit. So I'm putting these in here, and I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to read one or both of them. They are super chunky books, each of them. And of course, I am talking about Ninth House and Hellbent. Ninth House was published a few years ago, and then Hellbent was a new release just at the beginning of this month, I think like January 11th or something. I got both of these in my Book of the Month box this month. I have not yet read Ninth House, but I am fascinated I'm just so excited to read it. I think all of the hype around this is probably what has kind of put me in the mood to read dark academia right now. But essentially, Ninth House is the first book, and then Hellbent is the second book in the series. And we follow our protagonist. Her name is Alex, I think, and she is tasked with following the secret societies in, I don't want to get this wrong, is it Yale? Alex Stern is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. Yeah, so she is tasked with following the secret societies of Yale. And what was, I just remember there was like a movie when I was kind of like a teenager, about the guy who played Percy, something Jackson, not Jackson. I can't remember what his real name is. Anyway, he was in one of these like secret societies at Harvard or at Yale or some Ivy League school. And it was super interesting. And so there's all this lore about like the underground worlds in all of these like Ivy League colleges and stuff. And so this basically dives into that. And like I said, I don't know if it's because there's been so much hype around these books, but I'm super in the mood to read something like that. So if I feel like it, I'm probably going to pick up at least, I'll probably at least start in on Ninth House. If I finish that one, I may have time for Hellbent, but let's be honest, we're talking about a short month this month, and, you know, who knows if I'm even going to get to those. Okay, so those are 2 book of the month books. Obviously, like I said, I got those in my box this month, and my goal is this year to average read 2 book of the month books per month. Now, I'm not going to count those as my 2 because who knows if I'll get to one and or both of them. So I have picked out 2 additional book of the month books for this month. And one of them is Razorblade Piers by S.A. Cosby. I have heard so many good things about this book. I've heard that it's just incredible. It's about 2 fathers, and something happens with their sons, and then they basically go out to get retribution for what happened with their sons. So very emotional, very moving. And like I said, I've heard just a ton of good things about it. I got this in my box like early last year or maybe even the year before, and just haven't had a chance to get to it. So I want to make a point of getting to that one this month. And then the other one that I want to read, this one might be a little bit controversial. I don't know. But I want to read Will. I had actually purchased 1 copy of Will in my box like 2 Christmases ago. So December 2021, and I gave that copy to my sister-in-law as a Christmas gift. And so I purchased this copy for myself the very next month in January, and I just have not had an opportunity to read it yet. It's another kind of chunky book. I'm sure we're talking like close to 400 pages. Yeah, 420 or no, 412. Okay, so 412 pages. I got a ton of pages here to read this month. But yes, I would like to read this book this month. I have heard kind of varying opinions of this book. Some people say that they're glad to get, you know, a real glimpse into his life. And then I've heard others say that like it kind of feels like he is scapegoating some other people and like kind of putting some of his actions and reactions off on like his experiences and kind of like his childhood and what happened to him. So I don't know. I want to go into it with a fairly open mind. I have liked Will Smith as an actor in the past. I first was introduced to him as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's how old I am. You know, I don't know. I'm going to give it a fair shot. I have purchased the book. I paid for it. It's been sitting on my shelf, so I'm going to read it. The next couple of books, I don't even know if I'm going to get to all of these books that I've already mentioned, but because it is going to be Valentine's Day in a few weeks, I wanted to give myself a little bit of freedom to, as I said, to mood read, and I feel like I'm going to want to read a couple of romances. So I have chosen 3, and I know very little about really any of these. I think one of them is like fake dating, and one of them is enemies to lovers, and then the other one is like friends to lovers, I think. I don't know. We're just gonna go with it and we're gonna see. I'm just gonna read whatever I want to read this month. The first one is The Wedding Date, and this one is the fake dating trope. I'm assuming this is probably very similar to the movie The Wedding Date. Who was that? Deborah Messing, I think, and that cute dark-haired guy, whatever his name is. But, you know, fake dating, she hires a guy to be her escort, literally her escort, to a wedding, and then, you know, ... I'm fairly certain that's what this one is about. And then we have Love and Other Words. Oh, and I got this one from Sam's, and I also got this one from Sam's Club, and I can't peel those stickers off, so there we go. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This one is, I think, an enemies to lovers. They're like, I can't remember if they're like competing firms or something like that. Oh, I think this is like reconnected love or something, maybe like that. Anyways, like I said, I know very little about it, but I like Christina Lauren. I read, it says New York Times bestselling author of The Soulmate Equation, which I have not read, and then The Unhoneymooners, which I have read. And so maybe why I thought that was enemies to lovers, because the Unhoneymooners is an enemies to lovers. Regardless, I'm sure it will be cute and fun, and I'm sure I will enjoy it. From my recollection, Christina Lauren is a little bit steamy, so there will probably be a little bit of spice in this one. And then the third one that I'm just giving myself liberty to choose this month is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. And this is a new release as well. It was released, I think it was this month. Yeah, it says copyright 2023. So this is a former friends to lovers, I think. And so this is by Talia Hibbert. I think I've read a couple of things by her. She is the author of Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I really want to read the Brown Sisters trilogy. I have not picked that up yet, but I really want to. That's kind of been on my radar for a year or so now. And so I really want to read this. I feel like this is I don't know if it's a YA or if it's more of like a, what they call new adult. I don't really know what that genre is. I would say like maybe early to mid 20s. I have no idea. But this one just seemed like it would be really cute to me. Again, probably one that's got a little bit of a spice factor to it. So I'm going to give myself liberty if I choose to go ahead and select this one to read as well this month. So guys, that's it. Like I said, I'm trying to be really nice to myself. I'm trying to, just give myself a little bit of freedom and not put too much pressure on myself. I normally fly through audiobooks as well, as I listen to them a lot on my commute to work. And then typically while I'm at work, I'm listening to audiobooks a lot. And I just haven't been doing that so much this month. And so you might be surprised when you see what my January wrap up is. I didn't really read that much this month. But for the most part, I enjoyed what I read. So, that's always a win. But that's why I'm trying to be a little more gentle with myself this month and not put too much pressure on myself to just consume. I will probably pick up a couple of audiobooks that, as they become available on Libby, and that's it. So let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know what you're kind of vibing with right now. If you're all about the dark academia, or if you're all in on romances for the month of love. Let me know what you are reading right now. And also, here's the other thing I'm curious about. Let me know, do you do better when you have to stick to a TBR, or are you a mood reader like I kind of am figuring out that I am? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye.